Welcome everyone. Let's wait for a couple of minutes before we get started. So in the meantime, you all can mark your attendance, and if there's any item that you want to talk about and that's on sites, you can mention them in the talks, link to which would be in chat. Argun, do you also mind sending reminders into the channels?
Yes, sure.
Looks like we should get started, but let me once again mention that you all can write your name in the attendees list. So the link to this docs is in chat. You can mark your attendance by writing your name, just like Vivek, Ankita, Anuj, and Vaibhav has done. So. All right, so I welcome you all once again to Layer 5's weekly websites meeting. This meeting happens every Monday, and we talk about all the sites that we have in the community. So we'll be going on through these items that you see that's listed in the docs. We are a little low on agenda items, and if so, you have any item that you want to talk about. It could be an open issue that you want help with, or it could be your pull request where you are seeking feedback or are looking for some help. Feel free to drop them in this docs, link to which again is in chat. For those of you who might have just joined, I'll be dropping again in chat. With that, let's follow our tradition, and that is all the newcomers to this call, they can go ahead and introduce themselves. So I'll be taking a look at the participants list, and it looks like Kaf is joining us for the very first time. So do you mind going next and giving your intro, Kaf?
Yeah, everyone. I'm audible now.
Yeah, you are. Please.
Yeah. So, I'm an undergrad student currently in my second year, and I'm heavily into full stack development and TypeScript stuff. So, like, I get to know about layers 5 from LFX program, so I thought that it would be a great opportunity to get into layers 5 and contribute. So it was like I'm not like newbie in open source contribution. I have done some sort of contribution before, so I thought that it would be a great repository to get started with and gain a lot of insight and work on it. So and luckily I get into this meeting actually. So I thought that it would be more comfortable to talk with the people out there and how I can get started and what is actually the prerequisite that I should focus on and overall thing. So I would be glad to get to know from you.
Yeah, so that's wonderful. Thank you for your intro and for joining the call. Yeah, so we have a dedicated meeting on Thursdays where we take all the newcomers on a tour of various projects in the community that is there. Talking about various areas where you can contribute. Definitely, like we have a couple of open issues that we'll be talking about in this meeting. Where since you mentioned that you have familiarity with TypeScript and development in general, I'm sure that you will be we could use your help there. So I'll be sure to point those to you, Gav.
Yeah. So
And also like
should I write my name over in the attendance list?
yeah, please go ahead. So this is for all. So all people who are on the call, they can mark their attendance by writing their name in this attendance
Okay.
list. So yeah, if you are
Yeah.
not able to
Okay.
access this doc, let me know. Its link is in chat.
Okay. Then.
Thank you for your intro once again. And then I think Nitin is also a newcomer, I guess. So if that's so, can you please go next and give your intro?
Hi. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Please go ahead.
So yeah, I'm an undergrad student. Currently in my third year. I'm studying computer science and engineering. I worked on multiple personal projects. I've done an internship, but I'm new to open source. So I wanted to get into open source to you know work on some real life projects and get the exposure to become a better software developer. So yeah, that's about me.
Hey, so first of all, thank you for your intro, Nitin. And yeah, so um, did you say that you're just starting out your journey, open source journey with our community?
Yes, I just actually went to the LFX website and I saw that Meshery is the only one that's accepting applications right now. So I just went ahead and applied it. I started the GitHub repository. Then Lee messaged me on LinkedIn with all the information, the Slack channels, and everything. Then through that I joined the community.
Awesome. Can you please also sound off with specific technology that you are comfortable with or have experience working
I've
in?
done. I've worked with Monstack. Also, I'm currently learning Golang. I work with Python, C++.
So you are quite comfortable with React, right? And the related
Yeah,
technologies.
yeah, right.
Okay. So yeah, so like I just now can see on a screen, pull request, which potentially one of the newcomers, the two of you can help taking forward. So I'll be making that call to volunteer when we get there. So once again, stay tuned, Nitin. Thank you for your
Okay,
intro. And
okay.
looks like
Thank you.
that's it. And with that, I think that's all for newcomers. We'll be starting with agenda items. So we'll be first covering this site, that is Layer 5 IO, which is a Gatsby site, a React framework. So if you would want to check it out, the link is in chat. Also in the footer of this site, you would find the GitHub repository. So you also can explore that. First item is from Yatin, but I don't think we have Yatin on call. So Hargun, can you please remind Yatin that if he joins, we'll be able to cover his item.
Sure.
Thanks. And same is the case for Aviral too. So let's circle back to this item after we are done with all these items. Next up, we will have Hargun. So this is a blog post from Hargun. So Hargun, do you mind sharing about it?
Yes, sure. Just share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. All right. So for everyone's context, the issue that I was working on was to create a blog post for one of our Mishri's repository maintainer, that is Hussaina Begum. So if you move on to layer 5 slash blog, you notice that we have different blogs for each of our repository maintainer. So this was the blog post that I was working on, where we interview all the maintainers regarding their experience with Meshri and how they have been, how they started contributing and became a maintainer here at Layer 5. So yes, I had this doc given to me in the issue only. I had just created a MDX file, and also soon more such issues will be open. So if you want to work on any such issue, you're most welcome to do so. That was all about my issue.
Thank you. So I've also shared this blog page, blog sections link in the chat. But if you could just take that link and can share in chat, so that would be helpful for folks who are interested to take a look.
Sure.
And since we are on this topic, we are also currently looking out for potential folks who can maintain this site that you all can see on your screen. So if you're consistent and are being impactful, we might recommend, community managers might recommend your name as the one who can champion this project. So just a heads up. Thank you for your updates, Harkut. Next up, we have this update from Anuj, and it looks pretty familiar. So I'll just ask Anuj that if you could sound off.
Yes, yes. So the issue that I was assigned was to make this search mode more dark mode friendly. Uh, this is the PR that I created, and this is the live server that's looking right now.
Okay, so you took care of all the 3 places that were mentioned, right?
Yes, yes. This is the resources, and this one in blog here. And originally it looks like this right now.
Yeah, so this is definitely an improvement, Anuj. If you could once go to your files changed in your pull request. So you
Now
see, we are replicating the same style for all these search dots, search boxes class. So I was wondering, since it's being used on various locations on site, and since they all have exactly the same styling, it would make sense to have them, defined in global style. So that way don't have to repeat ourselves at these many places. So if you could give consideration to that.
it is already defined in Google. I have just copied the style from news and pasted it here as you suggested me.
Yeah, so that is what I suggested. But now, when I take a look at the same style being replicated at 3 places, and I will also invite others on the call, give your feedback on this one. So would it not make sense to have this specific style in defined in a global there's a global file, CSS file, where we simply can define all the styling that will be applied across the site. So that way we don't have to write them at these 3 places. And in future, if there are more search boxes added on the site, then we will have to add the same style there too. So we'll prevent that, I would say, duplication. So if that makes sense, I think we
Um,
can go ahead with that. So if you would find that file somewhere in the root of the repository.
okay.
So are you able to understand what I'm trying to say, or does it make
Yes,
sense?
yes, got it. I will do that.
So you also can simply look for So, just to search where you would find that file, you can look for .modal. So you can type, in the top, you see type to search. There you can search for .modal. So, modal styles are basically defined in the global style. So I think you will find that there. Also, anyone on the call, if you think any other way, or if you have any feedback on this one, please go ahead and let us know. Looks like all are in agreement. So thanks a lot. I mean, you already have, done what was, whatever was the ask in the issue. So probably we are all good to merge. So just this extra consideration, if you could, make ourselves more efficient. So yeah, just for that.
Yes.
Anuj?
Okay. Yes, I will do that.
Thanks, Anuj. Yeah, so now let's circle back to this PR, and that is MDX V2 upgrade. We'll talk about it briefly. So very recently, the site itself got migrated from Gatsby version 4 to version 5. And so, many of you have also noticed some of the, irregularities and bugs in the site. I was just finding one today. So for example, if I take you there. So these styling problems are, coming after that migration, and many have been already fixed. So even now, if you come across any search issues, you can, just open an issue right here in this repository. I'll be dropping this link in chat, so it's easier for you to take a look. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that I say this out loud. So yeah, if you come across any bugs, feel free to report them in GitHub repository. Next up, I mean, following up on that migration, we also need to update MDX plugin. So there's already an existing PR on this subject from one of the contributors, Aviral, but they might be busy in some, other work, and that's why they are not able to complete it. So we are looking out for volunteers who can probably take this forward. I would say 75% of the work is already done. You would need to, fix some of these merge conflicts, and then we'll have to get this build and preview running. So if you are able to successfully build this site, and there's no breaking changes somewhere, we would be good to merge this change. I'll be dropping this link in chat. If you are interested, you can get yourself familiar with the kind of changes that's done in here, and yeah, try to build this via. So you can check out to this branch, your local system, or if you're using Codespaces, and then you can try building this particular branch. So anyone who might be interested, you can sound off in the comments in this issue only. So that way we would connect, and if you have any further, if you need further clarifications, we will be able to work it out together. And by the way, if you're interested in to take a look at the migration that was done, you will be. So the spelling would be Gatsby, and it would be a merged PR. So yeah, this one. So I'll also take this link and we'll put it in chat. Yeah, so feel free to drop in your comments on the pull request, so that way we'll know that you are interested to work on this issue. All right, so then we are left with this call for volunteers. So I'll quickly open it. As you all know that we also have Hacktoberfest going on. So we have many issues open that are labeled Hacktoberfest. And if you see any issue that's open and is missing this label, let us know. Any community manager or meshmates will be happy to fix that. They will be able to label these issues. So as you see, many issues are already assigned. So if there's no progress from the original assignee, you also can comment to to consider reassignment. So if you don't receive any response from the assignees, will we be reassigning that to you? But there are many which are in need of contributors commenting there. So if you think you can work on any of these issues that are basically on System, which is our design system, Ankita, who is also on call, is a co-host, is actively working on this area. So they will be able to guide you better in this in these kind of issues if you're stuck somewhere or if you need any guidance. There also another maintainer, Sudhanshu, who will be helping you. So yeah, if you think you can work on these issues, feel free to comment on them. I'll be taking this link and will be putting in chat. And since we are in Systent, I'll be also taking you to Systent's own GitHub repository, which is at layer5io/Systent. And if you are familiar with TypeScript and are also like have some UI UX skills, you can help with creating some of the more of the components in this repository. So take a look at this if you would. Regarding Systent 2, we have a couple of other call for volunteers items too, and that is having a standalone site for this project. So currently, like we have a section on this project in our existing site. You see this section that is on Systent, but it would be nice if you could have a dedicated site to this project, which would be at system.layer5io. So if you can help build that, it could be one area where you can lead and champion that area. So sound off in Slack channel in websites channel in Slack. Talking about that, if you already have joined the Slack, it's all good. If you have not yet, Harbin, do you mind dropping that link? Or also just one heads up that you will find all the links in the header of these docs that you all can see. So I'll take that request back and I'll myself send that Slack link. So hopefully those of you who were sounding off that they need areas to contribute, issues to contribute, you have some of the issues that you can explore and can take a look whether or not you want to work on it. So just that. Then we don't have any item on Mishri.io, but yeah, this is Mishri's project's main site. So if you want to work on this site, explore it. If you come across any bug, report that, or if you see there's any if you could make any enhancement in any one of the areas, you also can sound off in the Slack channel once again. Then we have this. So I think this is discussed previously too. So this is all good to go. Let's go to docs item, and the first, and this I'll be dropping this website link in chat. I think we are missing Void on the call. So I'll be just simply taking this link and we'll be putting in chat. Then we have this item from myself. So I'll be opening the PR. All right, so, and this is about realigning the nav items that we have in the site. So this is layer5io docs. I'll be opening the site. So currently we have nav items like this. So you see products and then cloud, then canvas. But one of the suggestions and the inspiration for this PR was to have cloud and canvas on the left, and then products and search bar and upcoming avatar. So if you are signed into a remote provider, Mishri's remote provider, you'd be able to see your avatar too. So keeping them on the right side and then keeping these two in left. So for that, this PR was there. I'll be dropping this link, and if you think anything that could be enhanced there, feel free to drop your suggestions. And looks like that is all for today to discuss. I wonder if any one of you on the call have any items that you would want to share, or if not, then we'll be wrapping up the call.
Vivek,
Ankita, yeah, please go ahead.
I have an issue wait, let me share the screen. So in preferences section, a remote provider, this section is not very user friendly. Like you can see above, and this one is not user friendly. So I was asking, like, it was on purpose, or like it has been noticed, it has not been noticed yet.
I think only the latter would be true. I don't see why the former would be, can remotely be true. So have you already opened a GitHub issue on this one in Mishri/Mishri repository?
I have opened, I asked yesterday on Slack channel about this issue, but didn't get any feedback.
Yeah, please go ahead and create open and GitHub issue on this topic. And if you want to work on it, please go ahead and toss a fix. If not,
Okay.
then others can, chime in for sure.
Okay, got it.
Just to interrupt you, Ramaj, while you're working on this, you can use the use theme that we have existing on Systent. And for dark theme mode, you could enable the exact palette or the changes, the colors that we need. Probably also working on another issue on Meshri/Meshri, which in the guidelines mentions when you're using these different set of codes to make it more legible, you could probably opt for Systent tokens when you do that. So just a heads up before you start working on this.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Also, since we are on this, Ankita, do you mind taking folks, since a couple of them mentioned that they are familiar with, full stack development and also TypeScript, if you could once take them through the MUI5 and Systent component issues that you have on Meshri/Meshri, and I suppose that there will be more such issues coming up in future, right?
Yep,
So if
this
you
week
could-
we're going to come up with like 3 to 4 more components.
Yeah. So since you have fantastically detailed, all the issues, I think if you could once, take them through, we'll be able to refer to them to this particular section of the call. I mean, this, recorded live stream later too. So that would be helpful if you could do that.
Sure,
And since
just give
we
me a
also have a
moment.
couple of time.
Sure, just give me a moment and we should be up. Perfect. So my screen should be visible and here we are. I'll quickly change this to my name so that we can go through a couple of migration issues that we have up here. So to all the folks present on the call or the ones who would be referring to this call later on, what we are doing right now is we have an initiative where we are transferring or migrating our existing system, no, I wouldn't say system, we are migrating our existing code base of Meshri/Meshri that follows the Material UI version 4 styling and theming to use Material UI version 5. Now with this, we have a bunch of issues open up here. So I'll just quickly pick up the first issue that's up here. And what we want to do is we've broken it down to a couple of components that we have in Meshri/Meshri, which is lagging behind in this migration. So what we want users or like what we want contributors to do in this area would be, let's say if you take a look at this particular component, you will notice, it has something like with styles. If you go through the MUI v5 documentation, you'll notice make styles, with styles. These aren't supported more or less. And you'll also notice that, there are a couple of these components like tooltip component or the icon button component that we are using from Material UI core. So currently, we happen to have a design system known as Systent, which Vishal had shared with all of you a couple of moments ago while we were going through the Systent issues. So Systent is configured to be v5 compatible. What we want contributors to do up here is we want you to go through the Systent repository and check if this particular component is present. If yes, what you can simply do is add an import with the component and write from @layer5/Systent. If you take a look at, I'm sure we have a contributor up here on this issue. Oh, we don't. This issue looks open to me, so I can go through the number of folks who want to be assignees there and then assign it to them. I'll quickly check if we have an open PR, which I know we do, from a contributor to show you how that would work. Just give me a moment. I think we recently had a PR from Vaibhav up here who had this, one of his PRs where he was
Yeah,
working on
I'll
this.
get that PR's link.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you so much. I'm having quite some time because we have these open PRs. So if you refer to that PR, you'll notice how wonderfully he's, just gotten the component that we needed from Systent. He's imported it and he's used that component throughout. So what that would do is you already have a MUI v5 supported component. All you have to do is remove the with styles import and, add we have a styled and a use theme hook. So what you could do is rather than using the styled from Material UI, you could go ahead and use the styled that we have in Systent, and it would help you do the exact same thing and get rid of with styles up here. or make styles that you have. So you can add the additional styling that you need for that component. If it requires theming changes from dark and light theme, as I was mentioning earlier, what Anuj could do with the theming, any contributor can use the use themes, add that hook up there, and then they can refer to, I'll take you to the exact Systent page that has a list of all of these colors
way,
or the
I
system
also found
tokens.
the link, Ankita. So
Oh yeah, thanks. I
that's
guess
in
it
chat.
should be, yeah, I'll quickly refer to it. So this is the palette that you could refer to, the colors, the hex codes. So you could do a trial and error of finding the exact code for both dark and light theme modes. And these are the tokens that you can use. What this would do is you already have you'll have system components being used which are V5 supported or compatible. Then you'll have the styled and theming, which is V5 compatible as well. So then we can get rid of the additional files that deal with all of this. And we have a component that's independent, that's working perfectly. So I'll just add this link up here. For anyone, if you want to refer to and find the system tokens, you can refer to this. We, I think, have this PR that almost looks good to me. So if you take a quick notice, here we earlier had this material UI badge component. Now we have the Systent badging, and this is the styled and used theme that I was talking about. You can import all of this from layer 5/Systent and then use it. Something that you might want to take a look into would be when you use a Systent component that you are getting from our system design system inside Meshy/Meshy, kindly import a user Systent wrapper and wrap that component. So if I take you a bit down here, you'll see this Systent error boundary, which is the error boundary was imported from layer 5/Systent design system. And for using it here, we are just wrapping it within the, or wrapping it with the user Systent wrapper that we have. And you can easily import that from this particular place, or this is where in the components folder the wrapper is present. So that would suffice, and you should have the PR up and running, or the contribution should be worthy enough for us to go ahead without any further issues and giving it a review and merging it. So I will be opening up a couple of 4 to 5 new components that we need. They will be related to, if you've gone through the connections section or the mesh sync section inside Meshy/Meshy, there are these sections out there. A couple of their components have to be migrated. I will be opening up these issues in a day or two, and you should be having it up. So if you're interested in this area, it excites you, and now that you've gone through how you could contribute, please feel free to leave a comment there with a confirmation that you were able to set up Meshy/Meshy locally on your system and it's running. And we should be able to assign it to you. And you can go ahead and make your contribution in this field. Any questions that anyone out here might have for me, or you'd want me to take you through in further detail, please let me know.
Yeah, actually, I've understood the surface level thing that we're gonna do with the imports and changing the component. So it's kind of like very light. We have to just keep the things like just to change the thing with the system component. I would like to if you provide some more details about the things, like what are the major thing that we should be focusing on, and what are the core thing that we should not be changing all around. So that would be kind of helpful.
Sure. So let's boil it down to like 3 checkpoints. The first one would be, if you're seeing any material UI core component being used, make sure you take a look in Systent and see if that's already present, which most likely should be. If it's not, feel free to raise an issue, and we will take a look into why it's not there and we can put it in place.
Yeah, one thing. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. How could I check if the system is having that component
So
or not?
you can come up here on layer 5 Systent. So there are 2 things that you can do to check this. Either when you write that import statement, you could add that name and see if it's giving you a recommendation that it's there. It suggests more or less. You should know that it's there. Else, or less, you could come up here check it out in the layer5.io assistant. Just add this component up here. Let's say, do we have a badge component? And if you notice that, okay, there is a badge that has been made, which is MUI v5 compatible up here in the base, you're seeing that there is this code base for a badge. It's there, and all you need to do is simply import it. So either of the two ways would be quick and efficient for you to check and add it. That's the first pointer. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, all good. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. So that would be the first thing. The second thing would be you have to get rid of the MUI v4 styling or the v4 syntax throughout. And majorly it is, the make styles and with styles components. So for those, as I mentioned earlier, you have to use the style from Systent and not Material UI. And then for theming as well, you have to use theme from here. So that's that. This would be the second level of things, and based on this you have to make all the necessary changes that you would usually do with like you can go through the entire migration docs that's present in MUI v4 to v5 migration, refer to it, do the styling, just make sure the import is from Systent, and that would suffice with the styling issues. And the third one is make sure you have it wrapped correctly. Any system component that you use on, you don't have to wrap every single component here. You could wrap it in the parent itself, and all the components inside the return thing would add or make sure that Systent is enabled. So these would be the three major things that you need to make sure happen without fail. And the last thing would be, let's say you have this no SSR or, there are Material UI icons that are also used. So those imports, if you could go through the MUI v5 migration docs and see for the other icon and the other related imports that we do not deal with Systent, how do you import them or how do you change it, how it's used? Just keep a check on it, and that should suffice. Any other questions that we might have? And I believe Vaibhav was still on call, so thank you so much, for having your PR up, which we could use as a reference point and explain others.
Yeah, I would appreciate it if you could share the pull request link in the chat. Yeah, this pull request.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That should be okay. We
Yeah,
already
thanks.
have it, but I'll add it here. I'll tag you so that helps find it out later on. Yep, that should be it. There's another thing that we're also doing apart from this MUI v5 migration. So there are a couple of these issues that are clubbed together. And when I say clubbed, it means it's not just MUI v5 migration that we're taking a look into. It's also, we have a bunch of we have a bunch of class components still being used throughout. If you do a React Splash component, you'll see like we have open issues in this area and regard as well, where we are using class-based components. We want to migrate them to functional components. So there are issues that are clubbed where you have to do both the system migration and the component migration. If it's your cup of tea and you want to take both of them, comment the same. If you want to take either of the two, comment the same, and we'll make sure we assign it accordingly. And I guess that's all that I have for you with this regard. Would truly be looking forward to more contributors coming into this area and contributing and helping us get our migrations in place.
Yeah, so I think we also would want to label these issues as epic so that folks don't, keep themselves from commenting if they see there's already one assigned as these
Sure.
parts. Mhm.
Sure. I'll make sure I do that. Yep. I'll make sure I
Alright.
do that. Thanks.
So I think CAF would be interested to, work in this area.
Mhm.
And similarly others, if you are.
Yeah, I would love to.
Great. And there are others on call, David, Nitin, and others. If you want to work on it, you can, simply comment on the issues that Ankita pointed.
So Vishal, I was saying that I'm more interested in the backend part, the cloud native part. I mean, I'm a beginner, but I want to learn. So, who all are maintaining that, or who I can
Let
talk
me-
to?
let me pause you here. So I would just say that we have a ton and tons of Golang items that are more focused into backend and cloud-native kind of the things that you can help with. You would want to take a look at the discussions that we have in Ministry/Ministry, where we have some Golang help-wanted items where you can help. So definitely check them out. And also, like, in Ministry/Ministry repository itself, if you see any item that is labeled with a component Go, that's potentially the areas where you would want to contribute.
All right, understood. Thanks.
Yeah, also sound off in Slack channel if you need any more help, and also joining Dev call and Wednesday will be helping you, as in you would be able to get a gist of what like project is about, and if there's any call for volunteers, probably you will get that. So
Okay, perfect. So if I have a doubt, which channel should I post it on?
there are couple,
Or yeah,
so
yeah.
let me walk you through a couple of places where you can ask your questions. And so first of the first would be my favorite, and that is this, our community forum. So since these messages are public and they will be available forever, it's always preferred if you ask your question here. So I'll be dropping this link in chat. You can take part in ongoing discussions, or if you have your own question, you also can post them out. So this would be your first place where you would want to ask questions. If not, you also can sound off in Slack channels, public Slack channels, not through DMs. So let's say your question is around Mishri, so you can use Slack channel, or it could be general. So that depends a lot. There are a couple of channels for Mishri, like Mishri CI, Mishri UI is to there. So that really depends a lot, like which area your question is around.
Okay, got it.
Thanks, Nitin. I'll also be tagging you, in the threads where we are looking for volunteers who can help in Golang issues. So
Yes, please. Thank you.
thanks, Nitin. I see we also have, we still have some time. So Anita, I was wondering if you could go through that SVG in layer 5 IO docs problem that we were having.
Sure. Just give me a second and I will pull that out. And we can go through it. I don't have it running locally at this point, so just give me 1 second.
Yeah, please take your time. And by the way, folks, this meeting is being live streamed on our YouTube channel. So if you have not already subscribed to it, do that. You will be getting updates about all our upcoming events, and also these similar live recorded sessions. So you also can rewatch and take a look at any section that might be of interest to you.
Yep. It's up. We should have it. I believe my screen is visible now. So this is what the issue was. While I'm trying to, add an icon up here and test and check things out, any form, like in any of these sub pages, I can't use an SVG inside. So I went through the discussions forum that says you have to add the entire file path for it to be visible, but that's just not happening in our case up here. So this is where the docs is. This is the exact review design page. I'm afraid this wouldn't be the code base. System's running out of application capacity. But if I, tend to add something here, or even in the front matter, or that's the shortcodes up here, any path for the SVG, that just doesn't work out. So Vivek, if you could let me know, we've tried a couple of things here. If you actually go to that folder that we have and check all these icons, we can access the YouTube icon and the other icons, but I can't access the subscription icon or any new icon that I create and add up
If you
here.
click on subscription.svg for once.
Sure. So I even checked that out in the SVG viewer just to check if it's compatible. Give me a second. And if you take a look here, it's an SVG that is legit. So if I just replace it with any other of these, like if I replace it with YouTube added there and then put it up, it shows up. Or if I just put the sorry, it's not discussion, it's discuss.svg that we had for quite a long time before we decided which icon we want to go for. Those were showing up. For some reason, I'm not sure this doesn't come up.
We also can try taking a look at what's the image SRC that's is in DOM. So let's take a look what's there.
So, you want me to take a look at? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Want
please
me to
continue what you were doing, and then we can take a look at them.
So what I was doing was I apologize for this. Please give me a moment. I have to shut down a couple of applications and we should be good. Yeah. So I was trying to add an image up here. Let's see, we want to do a figure and add it the way we were sharing earlier, or add an image directly up here. So if I do, see, it's good. It's not SVG. I'm not sure about the syntax.
Does it work with PNGs or is the problem only with SVG?
Nope, none of the others. Like, it's just that anything new that I try to create in this particular folder structure and add it, it's not. Let's say this is where you have the comment section, right? The designer folder inside content/en. If I add an icon, an image, and a PNG or JPG, anything in here, it's able to access it and it does it perfectly. It adds it. The issue is if I try to get anything from the icons up here, anything new that I add, and then I try to access.
Okay, can we once go to browser and try a couple of things?
Sure. It's probably a different snippet that's running up here. So I have two versions of this running locally. So just have to get back to that version and open that code. Just give me a second. We should have a docs here. Perfect. This is the one that we need. Yes. Do we have, where are the files in here? Do we have, no. I practically have 2 to 3 versions of this that's causing this issue.
Yeah,
Please bear with
take
me.
your time. Yeah,
Yeah.
no issues.
I'm trying to figure out which of it this code was written into. Yep, it should be this one because this already has the logos. Yeah, it's this one. Yes. So we take a look here. This was the pricing list. Where is the file? Oh, we don't have the file up here as well. This is a
And this
bummer.
is, yeah, no issues. Okay, so also like since I couldn't find that particular SVG in the PR that you have, and so that's why I was not able to.
No, that shouldn't be the case. That just give me a second. So this is the PR. If you come up here in icons, it has the subscription.svg.
Yeah, okay, so sort code is there. Okay.
Yeah. So the thing that might have gone wrong in your case was to check this PR locally what you probably have to do, like just to check the front matter is coming up or not and test and play around with it, you have to run this Go file. It adds the shortcodes with the SVG icons up there. Like in the
Yeah.
shortcode, we had that command. So that's all that you have to do.
Yes, but I think since this file is one of the assets file, I don't think it has. Yeah, so you are correct, but I'm just saying that we should be able to see this because it's in assets.
Mhm.
I was just
Oh, I
wondering
get
if
your
you could
point
once,
now.
if you could once
Just
go to the running version of your whatever you have right now. So if you could
Mhm.
once go to localhost 1313, we'll just inspect the SRC of that image and see what's
Sure.
what's going on there.
Sure. Just give me a second. Let's come up here and
Icons could not load it. Okay. What we can do, if you do youtube.svg there instead of subscription, does it? Yeah,
it does.
If you could open once localhost 1313 then /icons/youtube.svg.
Icons / yeah, we do.
It's working fine. And now if we put subscription instead of YouTube.
No problem. So the reason YouTube and the other ones come up is if you go down here and you take a look at hugo.toml TOML file, there's these SVGs. There were links for these probably.
Okay, yeah. So have you tried this way?
No, I haven't tried it around this way, like adding it around this way, because this was like for the footer, they had all of these, and only these are the ones that I can access, and the others I can't. So that's the issue.
Yeah,
If I go up to the YouTube thing that's there,
Mhm.
inside that file is I just changed the SVG snippet from the YouTube icon to the subscriptions SVG. It still comes up, it pops up. So if you suggest I could add another one here, but then it'll add that link in footer as well, which we practically do not want.
Yeah, so like I think only the two of the things could be going wrong for us here, and that is either SVG is not valid, but I don't think that's the case. And second could be there is some issue with the I would say visibility of that icons. So maybe like only the ones that are somewhere in the config files are accessible and others are not.
Yeah.
So now I get this. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
I'll be taking a look at it just now after the call. So
that'd be wonderful. That's the only issue that we had, and once we are done, we can go ahead with this PR. It's got heads up for the other segments. So another
Yeah.
thing would be if you're taking a look at this, we had a suggestion where this additional file that I had, the script file that Matthew reviewed. What this was doing was it was checking where exactly inside the file system we have that particular index.md or markdown file. It was figuring that file out and making the changes. We had a suggestion if we could, rather than having a script file, we can directly implement it inside the shortcode. I just needed your suggestion and advice. Would you still suggest me to do that up here directly inside the shortcodes where we have the front matter snippet, or should we keep it separate? This entire logic of figuring out where that index.md is and exactly where to position those things up.
Yeah, so I think it could be done using Hugo too. So short codes are please go ahead.
No. I was
Yeah,
just
so
giving it
short code are basically for like displaying that box, the green box on every features page, right? Or
Yeah,
am I
so
getting it wrong?
yeah, you're getting it perfectly correct. The reason we had the scripts was because if I take you to 1313, you'll notice up here, it's not for this one. Like this only has one shortcode. Let's say we go something down below for exporting designs. You will notice we have team tier and enterprise level or enterprise tier things up here.
And these
So
all data are coming from a file, a JSON file, right? data
Yes,
file.
all of this is coming from a JSON file. What I'm doing inside the script is not just figuring out where or which markdown this shortcode has to be added into, but where exactly in that markdown that this shortcode should be added, or more than one shortcode if we have an enterprising team separately, and the
I think
others are
like
just.
I think so. It would be configurable with Hugo too. So would have to take a look into that. So that way, if you want to get rid of the script, we can.
Perfect.
So-
If you could suggest me, because I'm considerably new to Hugo, which exact areas in the documentation I should take a look into that would help me understand and fix this up. It did help me a lot.
Yeah, so same is the case for me too. So I'm familiar with, pretty much familiar with Jekyll, and that is docs.mystery.io and mystery.io. But for Hugo, like we had a maintainer, so but we don't now. But yep, I'll also be doing the same, exactly what you said. And if I come across anything that's helpful, I'll definitely share with you.
Thank you so much. That'd be great. Thanks again.
So probably, we'll be able to fix this one out today.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the others
Alright,
on the
so
call as well for bearing with us. Apologies to interrupt, Vishal. You can go ahead.
Yeah, no issues. So thank you for sending word, Nitin. We'll definitely meet on Newcomer's call, and I'll be also tagging you in the items where we need help. So with that, thank you all for joining the call, and you would get all the items that we discussed in this doc. So make sure that you have access to it. I will also be dropping this meeting minutes in discussion forum. So you will also find all the agenda items that are discussed in this for community forum. If you want to take a look at the recording of this call, you also can find that in our YouTube channel. I already shared that, but know that link is right there in the header. You can subscribe to our channel too. And before we leave the call, before we end the call, let me also mention this community calendar. So around the week, we have a couple of meetings. On Wednesday, we have development call. On Thursday, we have newcomers call, and also bi-weekly CNCF tag network and CI/CD call. So if you're interested into participating in those calls too, I'll be dropping this link in chat. So it will be good to have you there as well. So with that, once again, thank you for joining and participating. We'll see you next Monday. Till then, bye.